to Tapping Girl Tapping Into You. It's so good to have you back. Hopefully we're going to have some fun and do some healing and dump some garbage today. First of all, I'd like to let you know I'm Colette, Tapping Girl, and I'm your host, Tapping Facilitator. I'm here with Raina again of EmpowerandLight.com. She is actually here to help me demo the tapping because she's so good at it. Okay, so
Savannah.
She's Vanna of Tapping.
Vanna of
there
tapping.
You go. Okay, so I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful sponsors who, through their generosity, is why we're able to be here with you, and that is Wofford Theater, and that is also Logan Street Signs and Banners. Next order of business, I got to tell you, medical disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor, and I have not had psychological training. I know just enough to be dangerous. So, the reason that I tell you that is if you are under the care of a doctor or you have a situation where you need medical attention, then go get that medical attention. This tapping is something that can add to, facilitate your health and well-being. It is not in place of. So what I'd like to do next is have Raina tell you a little bit about what she does, who she is, so that you get a minute here of airtime to tell everybody how fabulous you are.
Oh, goodness. Thank you. Well, actually, I do something similar to tapping in helping energy release, but also working with reframing our subconscious beliefs, just moving all of the blockages to our highest, greatest self. And
because she's in there.
It's amazing. They are in there. We are in there.
We were born with those people. We just got some junk to cover us up.
Exactly. Okay. So it's just uncovering all of the blockages.
So did you tell them how they find you?
They can find me at EmpowerandLight.com. It's there on the screen.
Awesome.
Or my phone number there.
Great.
You can find me on Facebook. I have a Empower and Light Facebook page. I'm also an artist, so you can find my Raina Fay artist as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, and thanks for being here with us again. Okay, so let's go to what is the tapping. Now, even if you've never been here before, it doesn't matter because we covered the steps and what the tapping is. It's very easy to learn. Tapping is a way that we de-stress the body and the mind by tapping on energy meridians on the face and the body while we are addressing a negative emotion, a negative emotional experience, or it could even be a physical symptom. So it's really easy to learn. It yields fantastic results. I've been doing it since 2007, and it has really completely changed my life. Tapping is over 30 years old, but it is really gaining momentum and popularity now because, first of all, it's so easy to use. Mm-hmm. You do get results, and also the biggest reason, it works. It works. I tap with people all the time, and they just can't hardly believe the relief they get in just such a short amount of time.
I think it's important, too, to say that sometimes tapping is actually a secret of superstars. Pro athletes use it.
Yes.
A lot of people, you don't know behind the scenes, they actually use tapping for performance.
Yes. One story I do like to tell, and I think it was the St. Louis Cardinals. Mm-hmm. The year that they won the pennant, a few years back, they started out as one of the worst teams that year. And by the end of the year, they won the pennant, and actually they used tapping that year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's with NFL teams. If anybody out there knows anybody, get me to the Colts. This is like a secret. This is a secret weapon that NFL teams use, really, with other teams and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because the thing that we know about athletes, whether you're a high school athlete or you are a professional athlete, is that from day to day, you pretty much are the same person physically. Why is it one day you run a mile faster and the next day you don't? It has to do with the emotional body,
state. Yeah,
the mental
mind
state.
Body.
Absolutely. Tapping is really, it's so wonderful because it's a positive way to release negative emotions. Now I'm going to tell you, it looks funny. And I'm also going to tell you that it's counterintuitive. One of the reasons that I say counterintuitive is because we are all, especially in this day and age, being trained to think positive, just speak positive, don't do any of the other stuff. And with tapping, we're actually talking about the negative. Now, the reason that we're doing that is because if you're walking around and you're trying to do your positive affirmations, I love me, I love me, I love me, I love me, people are great, and you are not having those feelings in your life experience, that's because, as you know, you have a belief system that's bigger than the affirmations that you're putting out. And what tapping does is actually helps you go to that belief system, like so many of the modalities you use. So the counterintuitiveness, just stay with me, because again, it will shift.
Speaking of shift, can I
Yes.
add something?
Shift happens.
Shift happens. You have to look for the F, right?
Yes.
In the
And the F
Got
is
me?
the feeling. I do know F is feeling. She didn't tell me that.
I know, you got it. So what I think of it as, you're flushing your toilet.
That's a
You got to get rid of the crap.
yes, and even crying is a
Sorry.
detoxing, and the
Yes,
reason that
absolutely.
I said yes,
You have to flush out the negative.
And that word crap, it really covers a lot of ground.
It does.
Okay, so you got all kinds of stuff in
Just
there.
tell it like it is.
Most of it's crap. If there's anything going on with you that is not the splendor and magnificence of who you are, then you got crap covering it up. I liken people to, you are a brilliant diamond. Through this life experience, you have a negative emotional experience that cloud that diamond. The tapping actually helps polish it off so we can get back to the wonderful you that is the you that's here to help serve the world, make it a better place through your joy and your happiness that you exude out there. Other people, that's contagious. You hear people say that? Well, it's because it's about our energy field. Okay, so the tapping can be used for everything. It can be used for phobias, fears. It can be used for sports performance. It can be used if your knee is sore. It can be used for anything and everything. There really
Test
isn't
anxiety?
Test anxiety. I've used it with babies that were colicky, and I've done it with high school students. I've tapped with 12-year-olds who had bullying happen to them to help them release those negative emotional experiences. So there really isn't anything you can't use for tapping. Now, what I've done today is we're going to tap about anger. So talking about negative emotions, the one that we're going to bring up today is anger. And what I want to tell you is this. If when I say that word, you go, oh, I don't have any of that going on, stay with us, because with the tapping, even if that is not an issue for you, you are going to get a wonderful, remarkable thing that happens with tapping, and that is called borrowing benefits. Borrowing benefits says this. It's just like prayer. I liken it to prayer. When we're all gathered together doing the same thing, the energy, it's energy. It's all energy. So even if you don't have anger as an issue, it's going to relieve something that you've got built up in your body and mind that's giving you stress. So I think that's a good place to take a break, where our sponsors get to tell you about who they are, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Okay, I was just informed, and I'm going to do the best I can to share this because I'm not very technical. that you can tune in to HamiltonCountyRadio.com, 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and you can listen to this show. So if you're watching your data or you can't use your phone or whatever it is that impedes you from watching this, you can actually listen to it. And the really cool thing about that too is you can come back to this show over and over and over again between now and when we're back in January. You can tap these same sequences and you are going to get relief over and over and over again. Now, part of what goes on with tapping is we want to be more specific. The more specific, the better, okay? But in these instances, we're usually kind of global, okay? So let's talk a little bit about anger. Anger built up can actually feel like overwhelm. So what I think I want to do first is I want to do a little tapping on overwhelm.
Okay.
And we'll bring down anger, okay? So even if you don't have overwhelm going on, just tap along with us, okay? And first thing I want you to say is, I feel overwhelmed.
I feel overwhelmed.
And when you say that, I want you to rate it 1 to 10. And the reason we rate is so that we can come back and we can measure that it's coming down. So in saying I feel overwhelmed, get your rating, and you can even think about something that happened a long time ago or something coming up, a project or something you need to do. Maybe you're going to be playing in the ball game, and maybe you're nervous about that. Maybe you've got a presentation, maybe something at work. It doesn't matter. I just say I feel overwhelmed and I rate it. Okay? So everybody got your rating, and then here we go. The first place we go is what's called the karate chop. And it's that fleshy part of the hand, just like a karate master uses. And because tapping is the best way to learn tapping, that's why we jump right into it. So you just repeat after me, and Raina's here to be my echo. Even though I feel this overwhelm,
even though I feel this overwhelm,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And even though I feel this overwhelm,
And even though I feel this overwhelm,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And even though I feel this overwhelm,
And even though I feel this overwhelm,
I deeply and completely
love
and accept myself anyway.
Love and accept myself anyway.
Okay. The first tapping point, we take these 2 fingers and you're going right to the eyebrow. Either side, it really doesn't matter, okay? That's why I say it's very easy technique. And you repeat after me and you say, all this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
The side of the eye is over here. There's a bone right there. Side of your eye.
There? Okay.
Yep, right there. All this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
Under the eye, there's a bone right there. Feel that? You're just tapping lightly on that bone about 7 or 8 times, and you're saying, all this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
Under the nose, that's pretty self-descriptive. All this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
Then you go right here to the chin, that little crease in there, and you just, again, you're tapping with those fingers. You can use as many as you want. All this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
The next spot's called the collarbone. It's where a man's tie, where he ties his tie. And you just tap there lightly and you say, all this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
And then the next spot's kind of funny. It's called under the arm. You can do it this way or you can do it this way. Kind of look like a monkey. When I do it with kids, I like to do it with this because then we all giggle. All this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
Top of the head, in a circle right up here. All this overwhelm.
All this overwhelm.
Okay, and then you take a nice breath, fill up your belly. Let it out. And then you re-rate. I feel this overwhelm.
I feel this overwhelm.
Now, normally that's come down. And what I would tell you, the folks that are watching is, if it didn't come down, just hit pause, and you can keep tapping on overwhelm. Rewind, do that segment again with me, and just keep tapping on overwhelm. Usually in 2 or 3 rounds, it comes down. I haven't had anybody not have it come down in at least 2 or 3 rounds. So what I want to do from there is, now that we've taken care of some overwhelm, let's do a little tapping on some anger. And the way that we do this, again, with the setup phrase is, we are looking for what we're angry about. We want to be more specific, okay? So what we do is, we're going to just pick something kind of generic again, okay? And we're going to say, I have this anger about what happened, okay? So you want to find something that made you angry, okay? Even if you can't think of anything, do it anyway, alrighty? And you say, I have this anger about what happened.
I have this anger about what happened.
And then you rate it again 1 to 10. And then we go right back to the karate chop now that you've got your rating, and we do this. Even though I have this anger about what happened,
Even though I have this anger about what happened,
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Remember, the words are for tuning in. Even though I have this anger about what happened,
Even though I have this anger about
I love
what
and
happened.
accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself.
And even
anyway.
though I have this anger about what happened,
And even though I have this anger about what happened,
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Okay, and then you would go to the eyebrow. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Right here. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Under the eye. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Under the nose. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Chin. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Collarbone. All this anger about what happened.
All of this anger about
I didn't
what
even have
happened.
anything specific, and I'm doing more relaxed.
I know.
Yeah, under the arm. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Top of the head. All this anger about what happened.
All this anger about what happened.
Okay, now we're going to take a break, and while we're on break, just keep going round and round to the spots and saying all this anger. And I'm going to keep saying it till he even cuts me off. All this anger.
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 You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
All this anger.
All this
Yep,
anger.
we've been tapping away anger. I hope you were too. You can do that while you're watching our sponsors. Here we go. All this anger.
All this anger.
All this anger.
All this anger.
Top of the head. All this anger.
All this anger.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is sometimes when we're tapping, a really great way to get at what's bothering us is to give it an adjective. Okay, some description word.
Okay.
So let's say it's this burning anger. Or it's raging, or it's
Yeah.
red, or I was working with somebody the other day and I said, okay, so if you thought about this anger, because they said they could feel it in their stomach, and I said, okay, so if you thought about that anger, give me a color. And they said brownish gray, and I was like, ooh, that's nasty stuff. Okay, so
Certainly not pink.
It's not pink. Here we go. So we're going to go back to, we're not going to do the whole setup of phrase again. We're going to go right back to the eyebrow, and we're going to say, all this burning anger.
All this burning anger.
Side of the eye. All this burning anger I feel.
All this burning anger I feel.
Under the eye. All this burning anger.
All this burning anger.
Right here. All this burning anger.
All this burning anger.
Chin. All this burning anger.
All this burning anger.
Collarbone. All this burning anger.
All this burning anger.
Under the arm. All this burning anger I feel.
All this burning anger I feel.
Top of the head. All this burning anger I feel.
All this burning anger I feel.
Take another breath. Okay, let's go take a nap. No. Okay. So another way we can come in and target that is to say, where do I feel that anger in my body? Because a lot of times we get a tight neck, we get a headache, we get our shoulders tight, in our stomach, it
Yeah.
flips over and all that stuff. So let's do that. Let's go back to the eyebrow, keeping in mind that same thing that irritated you. You know, one of the things that's going on with people these days is nobody's taking care of their anger. You understand that's why we have road rage, right? Yeah. Everybody's letting it out
And
behind the wheel of their car.
online.
Great.
And
Why don't you
online.
get behind a vehicle that weighs a couple thousand pounds and then get angry at everybody? Okay, so here we go.
And you have people behind computer screens spewing hate on
Yeah.
social
Oh,
media.
yeah. That's always helpful.
That's nice. You know?
Okay, so we're going to say this anger in my stomach, okay? We're just going to address it that way. And even if it's not in your stomach, follow along, say it with us. Ready? Here we go. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
side of the eye. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
under the eye. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
under the nose. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
chin. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
collarbone. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
under the arm. All this anger in my stomach,
All this anger in my stomach.
top of the head. All this anger in my stomach.
All this anger in my stomach.
Okay, take a nice breath. Now, the point of tapping is to bring up negative emotion and negative emotional memory. So if you were feeling more ouchy from that, that's actually a good thing. That means that we got the anger that we're calling up. And if you have a story about a certain time when you were angry, when somebody did you dirty, did you wrong, made you mad, cut you off in traffic, whatever it is, then you just go back and you can tell that story while you're tapping. Okay, so let's say that somebody's made you angry, and now you're right there, and you're upset, and you just take the fingers right here, all this anger, all this anger, all this anger, go around and just do what we did. We're trying to keep it really simple. Now, I want to tell you there's some things that happen when we tap. Ways that we know the energy body is releasing: yawning. I have to tap before I get here, and the reason I have to do that is because otherwise I would be
Making me
yawning
yawn,
the whole
talking
time
about
I
it.
tap. Because if it's the first time I'm tapping in the day, I'm doing a lot of yawning. And I will tell you that when I first started tapping, it took me actually a few weeks to clear enough garbage where I did start yawning. The other thing that crying, sneezing, burping, all of those are ways that we know that we are moving energy. Okay, so that was just to show you generically how to tap on anger. And I want to tell you a few things. Let's go back to talking about the words. The words are just for focus. So when you first get angry or somebody triggers you, you don't even have to worry about the words. One of the things that I've been doing lately is just going right here, and I just start tapping. I'm so aggravated, I can't come up with the words. Oh yeah, people irritate me. I know it's hard to believe, but people irritate me. You haven't had that happen, have you? So I'll just start tapping, and I won't even worry about the words. And then I'll start on the second or third round with the words and just do it that way. Keep it easy. You can't do it wrong. It's really a fantastic thing. Now, what I also want to tell you is that about me and how I work. I work with people in private session. I also work with people in group. So if you want to get a few people together and you want to tap about weight loss, you want to tap about anything in general. Let's say that you've got a group where you have children that have challenges. When we help the parents relieve stress, then those children actually do better because they can feel all your stress and anxiety. I will tell you that from the last show that we did, the 2 questions I got the most often, and I'm going to answer. 1, can I really tap daily? Yes, you can tap daily. Even if you just do 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night, tapping does a body good. Okay? The other thing that I was asked is, how long do I tap? Again, if you're only doing 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at evening, I think I told you last time, I actually have a friend who actually was able to manifest an iPhone by, this is going to sound so weird, when she would go to the bathroom, every time she went to the bathroom, she would use that for tapping rather than just sitting there. She'd say, even though I don't have my phone, and she would tap all around it and how frustrated she was and everything else. And within about 6 weeks, she ended up getting a phone that was actually from a gift that was really unbeknownst to her that it was going to come and happen that way. So it was really cool. Now, again, let's go back to talking about that the whole point is to bring up emotional memory. So let's say we're tapping on this anger, and now you remember the time that the boss embarrassed you in front of the other workers. Then your subconscious mind, because it will bring you the story that is the match to how you're feeling, Your subconscious mind bringing you that story is telling you that's what's going to help us release more of the anger. So it would look really simple like this. We'll just do it. Even though, let me look here real fast about how I had it set up, because I did this. Even though I was so embarrassed by my boss when he did that.
Even though I was so embarrassed by my boss when he did that.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
This is just to help you get the hang of doing it. And even though I was so embarrassed when my boss did that in front of everybody else.
And even though I was so embarrassed when my boss did that in front of everyone else.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept
And even
myself.
though I was so embarrassed.
Even though I was so embarrassed.
When they treated me that way.
When they treated me that way.
It made me angry.
It made me angry.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
When my boss treated me that way, it was horrifying.
When my boss was treating me that way, it was horrifying.
It made me so angry when my boss treated me that way.
It made me so angry when my boss treated me that way.
Under the eye. All this anger about how I was treated.
All this anger about how I was treated.
Here comes a big word. You ready? All this justified anger.
All this justified anger.
Chin. All this justified anger.
All this justified anger.
All this anger when they treated me that way.
All this anger when they treated me that way.
All this anger from when they treated me that way.
All this anger when they treated me that way.
Top of the head. All this anger from when they treated me this way.
All this anger when they treated me that way.
Right. Because, again, keep tapping that. You will feel that come down. If another story pops up that has more emotion in it than the last one, that's the one we move to. You want to keep re-rating. You want to bring yourself down to about a 2 or a 3. You don't have to get to a 0 every single time. You just want to bring it down. Is there anything you could think of to ask me before we go?
I just want to add one thing.
Yes.
I think that, honestly, I think that tapping is fantastic as far as a DIY, but I think there is something to really be said for working with a practitioner.
Yes.
So I find, I've done tapping on my own, and I've done assisted tapping, facilitated tapping, and it just seems to help to have someone there. I think that it's fantastic to just kind of get your feet wet.
Absolutely.
But I think sometimes practitioners are able to see
your crap.
Yeah, because a lot of that crap is crap that we've come through.
Yeah, we've carried it so long we don't know that we have all that there. So that's what I do is when I work with people one-on-one, it's not a lifelong thing. You get results way faster than you do with anything else that I've known about. I wanted to let you know we're going to be back in January. At this point, I believe it's going to be the 21st. And until then, just keep playing this over and over and over, because you can come back and do this anger tapping with Raina and I over and over. I want to thank Raina for being here with me again, because it really is helpful to have somebody help me demo it. I appreciate that. I also very much appreciate this opportunity that Wofford Theater and Logan Street Signs and Banners has afforded us all. So until I see you next time.
And how do they get a hold of you?
They get a hold of me by, you can find me on Facebook, Colette Leosi Tappin' Girl. 717 Tappin' Girl is my phone number. You can find me at www.tappingrl, TAPNGRL. You can find me all kinds of ways. So you go ahead and contact me with your questions and everything else. I really, truly appreciate all the people that I've had conversation with in the last month. And until I see you in January, keep tapping into you.